Hey, welcome back, Math Gurus. In this video, we're going to practice solving multi-step equations. So it says solve for x, 3/2, and then technically when you read it, it's open parentheses 6x minus 30, close parentheses, plus x equals 100. So what we want to do is solve for x. So somewhere in elementary, when you did stuff like 5 plus blank equals 12, and it said find the missing number, you were really, you were solving for a variable. You just weren't introduced to a variable because a variable is a letter, but obviously it was condensed for a more appropriate grade level. The first thing we have to do is distribute the 3/2. And how do you know you distribute? Because there's nothing you can simplify. We're taught, do the parentheses first. Well, you can't combine 6x minus 30. So what you're going to do is distribute the 3/2. And so when I say distribute, you're going to distribute to everything inside, which means it's a fancy word for multiply. When you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across, meaning numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator. So really it's 3 times 6 is 18, divide by that by 2, so that gives you 9x. 3 groups of 30 is 90, half of that is 45. Now, this is definitely not a teaching method, but I always like to tell my students, add a 1, just so you can remember that, you have to combine like terms or you're still solving for it, depending on what the situation is. So I can combine 9x and 1x, so that would be 10x. Then I'm going to bring down the minus 45. Now I'm down to a 2-step equation. So what I'm going to do is inverse operations, which is just the opposite. I'm going to add 45 to both sides. And then I'm going to end up with a 1-step 10x equals 145. I didn't get down to 1 positive x. Okay. In the upper grades, they'll have a negative x and then you'll forget about it. So that's why I suggest putting the 1. So I'm going to divide both sides by 10. And then x equals 145 over 5. They're both divisible by 5. This gives you 2. And then I don't trust myself to do it in my head. Okay, so it's 29 halves, so equals 29 halves. You can simplify it to mixed number. You can leave it like that. It's whatever is your comfort level. As a teacher, I'm okay with 29 over 2. I'm not okay with 145 over 10 because you notice you can still simplify. There's nothing that can be divided by 29 and 2 without a remainder, so I suggest to leave it like this. But whatever your teacher expects, that's the way to go. I hope this helped. If it did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.